Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Best Ball Show. We're back at it, episode 3.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, my friend.
Yes, we got the luck of the Irish on today.
That's right. I am fired up today. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, today is a great St. Patrick's Day if you love golf, because it couldn't be any better of a final day over at the Players.
The leaderboard's tight. As you can see, we have it on behind us live right now, so we're watching it. Leaderboard is very tight. We got Scotty and Xander up at tied for first, 19 under.
Yeah, Harmon's getting going. He's starting to cook now. He kind of started out a little slow on the front, but now he's kind of gotten in the groove. And just when you think the PGA Tour couldn't get any dumber, they totally redeemed themselves with a solid player stack here.
It's interesting, and I was looking at the actually watching it, and Scotty with the putter again.
Yeah, and honestly, it goes back to probably what we said like a couple shows ago, that just changing something, just change something. Like if you're having a bit of a slump in any club, sometimes you just change the club and all of a sudden it goes by. It could just be a mental thing.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. Through the first 10 holes, he had 12 putts today.
Wow.
Final round. That's less than 24 for the round. Through 10.
Yeah.
12 putts.
That's insane.
So we'll see if he can close it out. I mean, again, that's what he led the field last week in putting.
First guy back to back, right? Yeah. You're the first guy back to back the Players. Yeah, I'm pulling for him. I mean, I'm a big fan of Scotty, so I hope he does it.
Putter is going. We had another thing, because we talked about this last week. Roy became the first person to drive. I think it was the 10 hole last week. Hole number 10, and it was 346 yards, and it was the first time in history that's been done at Arnie's place, right? Today, hole 12, 26 yards, Scotty drove the green.
Oh, wow.
And they were talking about it, and everyone was cheering and going crazy, and it goes back to, why are we trying to roll the golf ball back again?
Yeah, no.
I mean, if it's such a big deal, then why is the PGA setting up tournaments, setting up holes that are drivable holes, which is entertaining? Yesterday, Wyndham Clark put it in the water.
Yeah.
Trying to drive this green. Xander tried to drive the green yesterday and didn't work out for him. Short-sided. I think he didn't get up and down, settle for a par on it.
It's like telling Aaron Rodgers, like, hey, just throw it 10 yards each time, dude.
Yeah, just
none
check
of
down.
None of those deep balls,
Just
dude.
check down all game.
Yeah, it's so exciting. Like, everyone wants to see it. And it's got to be a difference. There's got to be a difference. It can't be everyone's hitting it 280.
Right.
Let's let them hit it far. Who cares?
I agree. So we'll see what happens, but it just doesn't make sense that they're sitting here saying, yeah, we're going to roll the ball back. Everyone's hitting it too far. And then you're giving the players drivable holes. And not everyone's even driving it. It's not like majority of the field has driven the green.
So we're 19 under right now. Let's say, they're going into some pretty tight holes. Let's say 20 wins it. 20 divided by 4, 5 under per day.
Right.
That's a pro. That's a pro.
Right. Well, and it's interesting because the Players used to be in May, and they've switched it to March. And so the talk was the course is significantly softer than it would be in May. And they were saying that the winning score they were predicting, I think Smiley Kaufman predicted that it was going to be somewhere around 20 under was going to win the tournament, because everything is softer. The greens were really receptive. And so today they're starting to firm up a little bit, but it's not making a difference.
No, I saw Wyndham Clark hit a drive. He's playing the big cut today. I think that they're saying that that's what he won the LACC with. But he's hitting big cuts, and they're like, oh, it looked like he hit a wedge, because his driver a little hit and spun back.
Yeah, I saw another one.
It's really soft out there.
Yeah, through it. So, when you got soft conditions, these guys are going to attack it, and they did.
But that's what we want to see.
Right. Yeah. I'm up for more drivable greens.
So you played Thursday here. Yeah. How was it out there?
Yeah, we, of course, first time back in 6 months, going to go play the first round. I'm just going to try to play some old man golf, keep it in the fairway. Let's just have a consistent round. We had a wind advisory. We were battling 30 to 50 mile an hour winds. So that didn't help anything. Ended up playing surprisingly well. Shot 81, which first time back I wasn't super excited about, but I was really happy with an 81 overall. Yeah. Long game was great. We were either into the wind or we were with the wind almost on every hole. I think there's only one hole. I think it's like 16 or something. It's that really big downhill par 3 where the elevation changes like 50, 60 feet or something like that. I don't even remember. But ended up playing surprisingly well. But it was an interesting round because so much of the wind changed. And it wasn't just ball flights. We were putting. And you had downhillers that were hard to stop on normal days. Like you can't really even barely keep it on the green. We were ending up 10 yards short. Wow. I mean, on long putts. I had a putt that went up around a little bit of a crosswind, put it on the right side. It actually looped around the cup. Didn't touch the cup. Just looped up around the cup and came back down. So obviously I was rusty in the short game. That was clear. So it was just a tough day with all the wind and battling the wind, affecting putts. You could just see the ball always constantly wobbly, even when you marked to set it down. You could just see it always rotating around a little bit, or not rotating, but wobbling a little bit. So I was happy with it, though, honestly.
Yeah, Thursday I was driving to work, and I was nervous about my round on Friday, and I checked the weather, and I think you had 22 mile an hour winds with up to like 40 mile an hour plus gusts. Yeah. So that's fun golf.
It was a couple of times I had to grab my hat, ripping my hat off. I had 16. It doesn't matter. Anyways, had a short par 4. I have right side, a little bit of an upslope, 100 yards into the green, dead in the wind. Hit a little bit of rough, a little bit of a flyer lie. Hit a pitching wedge, which is my normal 137 roughly yard pitching wedge there, and I hit as hard as I possibly could, and it came up, I would say, about 8 yards short of the front of the green. It was 100 to the pin, which means it was only around that time. It was about 87 yards to the front. Not only did it launched, got up into the wind, it actually came back. Like you could see it just all of a sudden stall out and then come back, and it hit short of the green and actually just kept coming back down the back towards me. So I mean, it was just one of those days. A lot of fun though. I mean,
you're on the canyon, so you're gonna get those whips.
There was no protection from it at all. And then so anyways, that was my round. Super glad to be back. Really happy about it. Can't wait to scratch the itch a little bit more and keep playing. So how about you? Played on Friday?
Yeah, I played Friday. Conditions were near perfect. Near perfect.
Thank you.
Little breezy towards the end, but fine. I mean, I'm fine with it. It wasn't my best. I think what killed me was inside 100. You would have thought I was holding my wedges upside down. It was bad.
Hitting him left-handed.
It was chunky. It was short. Yeah. It was just not pretty with those short shots. But right. I chipped the ball well. I mean, I shot 9 over 79 at Monarch, which is bad for me because it's home course. I know every shot there. Putting though, it's weird to play. We always play early when they're not mowed, or late when they were mowed a long time ago
and beat up.
All the fatties have footprinted the things up, but
the electric slide.
Yeah, it was weird to have like fresh mowed greens because we played at 9:20 tee off.
Right.
So perfect green conditions. I just overread every putt, I think, because they were rolling nicely, and I had 4 or 5 birdie putts just burning edges.
Right.
Didn't get one birdie to drop.
Right.
So it was a ton of fun though. Drove the ball fine. I mean, wasn't my best driving, but I kept it in play, and I only lost 1 ball on 9. I missed a 4-iron going into a win on 9, which was our 18th hole, and hit that one short, went in the water. But other than that, pretty good, pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good to be back and get back out and playing some golf. So. Quick little update on the Asian Tour this week. John Caitlin shot a 59, close it out. First sub 60 round on the Asian Tour.
I shot a lot of 59s in high school. Dude. It was a 9-hole match.
Yeah, 9-hole matches.
Yeah, you're like broke 60.
Yeah,
what's up?
Right. Yeah, no, first one in history. So I mean, there's good golf all over going on all the tours. So
kids are just starting so young now. I mean, my son started when he could walk.
Yeah.
So it's just the bar is changing. Used to we picked it up high school. Yeah. We kind of started messing around with it, and you were only playing it during the season though.
Right.
You weren't playing it at all until basketball ended, and then you're like, oh, what are these things?
Yeah. Right.
Let's give them a try.
These are hockey sticks. I was actually talking about this morning with play a little pickleball this morning with a group of guys, and one of them has a daughter, freshman. Excellent track runner. Another one of my buddies, his son's volleyball freshman, playing on the varsity team. Our kids are my son's freshman playing varsity tennis. And we were talking about kids just in general, and the access to coaches and private coaches and information and strength training. These kids are getting so much better, so much faster than what we did. Like our training was just go do it.
Encyclopedia, dude. Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah, I know.
Look up what is basketball.
There's no YouTube to be sitting there seeing and getting all this instruction and getting all this information. It just didn't exist. And so these kids are like we're talking about coming on the tour. They're just younger, better, faster, stronger, more accurate. And it's just, that's the world we're into. There's just so much information and private coaches and just all of this stuff. So anyways, it's interesting to see this going on. So we had a big week in the world of drivers. We had My Golf Spy released out their 2024 driver results and kind of with top driver for 2024. Club Champion always does a driver bracket, which is always kind of fun. Not as scientific as My Golf Spy. And they end up, Ian ends up smashing drivers for I think about a week straight, and they're going
formerly TXG.
Yeah, formerly TXG. Club Champion bought him out, so kind of fun on that. Thought I would give a little bit of update on some of that stuff. I know the driver bracket. So with Club Champion, they just kind of do head-to-head. If you haven't seen it, it is pretty entertaining to watch. They do head-to-head. They end up calculating this, and their algorithm to do it is they take the distance of each drive for each driver subtracted by how far it's offline. So if you hit it 320 yards, but it's 15 yards offline, you get a net 305 score. Right. And they hit 10, they rotate 10, 10, 10, 10, take the average and kind of see what they did. So interesting results this year. And kind of same thing with My Golf Spy. This year seems to be all about forgiveness. The MOI, the big 10K is the big number that's being pushed by TaylorMade. Ping came out, and they have it on their driver, the 10K. MOI is really what they're trying to get to, right? Forgiveness, control the ball. So interestingly enough, Titleist got knocked out in the first round by Srixon. The Srixon ZX5 LS moved on. TaylorMade, the QI10, got knocked out right off the bat by Cobra Dark Speed LS. So those are some big names going down right away. Callaway, the AI Smoke beat the Mizuno. PXG, the Black Ops, the new driver, the new Black Ops they have, that came out. That had a bracket.
Yeah, I want to hit that club. I hit the only one out of your list so far I've hit is the Q10, and I don't know if it performs any better than my Stealth, but I like the sound of it.
Right.
It has a really clean sound. It doesn't have that bang anymore, but it just has it's like a sniper.
When I've watched some reviews on it, yeah, for sure. Everyone says it sounds so good.
Yeah.
It sounds so good.
It's different.
Yep. And PXG beat Ping, the 430 Max 10K, like we were just talking about. So long story short, that bracket came down to the final two, and it ended up being Cobra Dark Speed LS, ended up topping out the Black Ops PXG driver.
Pretty close though.
They were only separated by a few yards. And what was interesting is this year's bracket, if I remember correctly, had some of the best numbers. I mean, it was averaging like 309 versus 308 or something, 306 or something like that. So there was a close match, but these were some of the longest numbers they've had. And so it's interesting to see Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway all get knocked out right away. And you've got places like Srixon, Cobra, PXG, putting up better numbers. My gosh, that PXG was long and straight. It's just the final bracket, it ended up being Cobra, just edged it out just a little bit. It had a couple knuckleballs, low spin that just went like 325 and just straight. So anyways, that was pretty cool to see. It is interesting that you always think about Titleist, you always think about TaylorMade and Callaway kind of being the big names in the driver world. But this year, they're all seems to be focusing more on forgiveness, not as much distance. You got these other drivers coming up.
They got the most guys on staff too, so it does skew it a little bit. That's why I think somebody posted or brought it up. Like, wouldn't it be interesting if they ended all sponsorships? Like, who would play what? Like, what driver would they play? What wedge would they play? What irons would they be in? And it was a pretty good debate. It seems like some of these big guys, they've been big for a long time. They got the deep pockets. They're able to pick you up quick. You want to get that guarantee money. And, at the top, it is all pretty similar,
Right. So I got a question for you then, because we'll go to the My Golf Spy here in just a second. But I do have a question for you. What do you think, with the driver, what do you think is more important? Do you think it is the look the address or the look of the driver when it's down behind the ball, or the shaft that's in the driver? Like,
for me, I get accustomed to anything at address after a while. I mean, I played the Nike driver. I've played 2 Nike drivers. I've played Callaway drivers. I've played TaylorMade. It doesn't really matter. I've hit my friends' ping drivers when we're playing. So I don't really get too caught up in that. I know a lot of people like, oh, I love the way it looks from the top down. For me, it's definitely the feel of the shaft. I don't really care. I mean, I got like a tie-dye shaft. I got the Pride. I got the Pride Hazardous right now going. So I don't care, it's fine with me, but.
Okay. It's interesting because I put some thought into this because I don't know what made me think of that, but it's interesting for me. It's going to be the address and how the driver looks.
Like and setup or just how it's the look of the top
just
of it?
How just when you're looking down at it, how is it at setup? What's it look like at setup? How is it behind the ball? I think that makes a bigger difference for me than driver shafts. And the only reason I say that is because I started thinking about these drivers and I'm like, man, I haven't hit a Callaway in a long time. And then I was like, well, I haven't hit Ping. And Ping is for 3-4 years has been the king of consistency with accuracy, forgiveness, fairway finders, maybe not the longest, but for years they have been that. I don't know. When I hit Callaways, I don't know if sometimes they look closed to me. So now I start fidgeting with the hands. I try to open the club face because it feels like it's closed. And then of course, being a right-handed golfer, the last thing I want to do is hit it left. Yeah. So I start protecting and opening the club face, and then all of a sudden I start shanking out to the right. Visually, to me, having the driver when it's sitting behind the ball before I'm going to get ready to swing is a bigger impact to me than the shaft. If it spins up a little bit, if it's a little bit too spinny of a shaft for me, I'm still visually I'm comfortable with swinging it. But if I'm not comfortable with the look of it, I really struggle. So the TaylorMade drivers always sit really well behind the ball for me. Cobra drivers, I think they always look really well. Titleist, I don't know what it is with their leading edge. I feel like I struggle to launch it because I just feel like it's so flat and I'm trying to open the loft and so I played a Titleist for a while and had success with it, but I don't know. It's just a random question I thought of. I didn't know what it was because I started thinking about all these drivers and I'm like, wow, there's all these drivers. I haven't hit Callaway in forever.
I never played TaylorMades ever. Like I convinced myself. Remember that burner came out with like the bubble shaft in the
yeah
in it, and I remember hitting that I think in high school, and I just couldn't hit it.
Right.
And I had a Callaway at the time, and I just could not hit that TaylorMade. So then I had in my mind like I'm not built for TaylorMades.
Right.
It's a different person.
Right.
And then I had Callaways all the way up until I got the Stealth I have now.
Right.
And then I think you had the Stealth first. Mm-hmm. Or no, you maybe it was you had the Sim.
I had the Sim.
Yeah.
And the original Sim, the Sim Max.
And then we were so hooked on that twist face and getting that little bit of help to get back within like maybe first cut or whatever. Not if you miss it, it's not in someone's house.
Right.
And so then once I hit that, then I can't remember who got the Stealth first.
We were both, I think, really similar.
It was close. We both got them right around the same time. And then that was the first TaylorMade wood I ever had.
Right.
And then just hitting bombs.
Yeah, and we talked.
It's comfortable.
100% agree. And we talked about this a little bit where like we're seeing the guys on tour going back to Colin Morikawa. And I don't know what he's playing today. But seeing him back on tour where they're back to the is he hitting Sim 2 or Sim?
I don't know.
Koepka.
Yeah,
he's playing the Sim 2, I think.
Well, when I had the last Callaway I had, boy, I could hit a duck hook, dude. I could hit a flock of duck hooks with that. It was crazy.
I brought whenever I went golfing with you, I brought my shotgun.
Yeah, I wonder how many balls I have in the 6th ravine at Monarch.
Oh my gosh.
Probably like a case, full case of Probies out there.
It's a dog leg left. This hole we're talking about, and it's narrow, and the fairway slopes right to left, and so the last thing you want to do,
T-box aims you left too.
Everything is left on that hole, and the last thing you want to do is hit it left. And like Michael said, he's got at least a box sitting out there.
I got a case. I don't know how many doesn't come in a case of balls, but I don't have a case.
And there's no bailout right. It's a huge slope. It's kind of cut into a ravine, and there's a big bunker. that's not flat. It's sloped.
If you go in 9, you can get a shot sometimes from 9, but they have tall pine trees, and depending on where you're at in 9, and you're trying to come back into 6.
Right.
It's way below you. You've got a tree.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop. And if you go long, you're in the ravine again. So
right.
it's probably one of my toughest holes until I switched to either hitting an iron off of it or hitting a 3-wood off of it.
Right. Yeah, fine. Just trying to find fairway, but yeah. So, anyways, that's kind of the drivers. It's just for you, it seems to be you don't care about the look of it so much. It's the shaft. For me, it's absolutely visual. I can work with the shaft. It's a difference in our swings too. Yeah. For you, you have such a quick transition when you get up top. It's just you just instantly just come down so hard, and so the shafts make such a big difference. And for me, it's so different. I'm just such a smoother transition. My tempo is so in control that the shafts don't really make a difference for me as much as the look of that club face where I start fiddling with my hands and adjusting.
I've definitely pigeonholed myself into like only a few shafts. It's not like, I can hit all of them.
Right.
Like, some of them I hit, I feel like I'm swinging a fishing bowl.
Right.
It's just
right. No. With the club champion driver bracket, they are coming out with the second bracket. It's going to be a mini bracket. And Ian, when he was doing that first driver bracket, he swings it. I would say he averaged about 117 miles per hour club head speed, I think is where he was. They're redoing it with the 100 mile an hour swing speed. And PXG is the first one knocked out.
Yeah, that's interesting because you think PXG would cater more to not high swing.
No, so Callaway, AI Smoke, triple diamond ends up beating the PXG and is into the finals, and they're in the process of the TaylorMade taking on the Cobra. And that'll be I think they release that on Tuesday, maybe Monday or Tuesday of this coming week here, coming up in a few days. So it comes down to, for everybody and all your golfers, just because you see the pros playing it just doesn't mean that's what you should play. And for everyone, it's different. For me, it's the look of the driver. For you, it's the shaft is the most important. You don't care about the look. And then it's your swing speed. So don't feel like that because what's on tour is what you have to play.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you got to go get fitted. You got to go have someone get the right shaft and the right, because if you like a certain head, it might be a different shaft for that one.
100%.
And then that same shaft, you put it into a different club, and it's not gonna. The weighting might be off a tiny bit.
Kick points are a little bit different. The way the driver sits with the.
So you definitely need to get fit. I mean, if you have one that you love, like, I just gotta have the Cobra. Mm-hmm. It does look sick. It's all blacked out. Mm-hmm. If you really want that, well, then go find that shaft that matches that for your swing.
100%. Totally agree. Going into the My Golf Spy, I think they had 37 drivers they tested out. Unfortunately, some of the stuff that we wanted to see isn't in there. The PXG Black Ops wasn't in it for some reason. They had some last year's models drivers in there, but anyways,
that one just dropped, so maybe they couldn't.
Yeah, because they did testing. I think it was almost a month ago.
Yeah,
that they started testing. Yeah, they do a lot. So, anyways, from the My Golf Spy, which is the more scientific robot, thousands of golf balls hit, gathering data. Best overall, Ping G430 Max 10K, which is going to be, of the Pings, that's going to be the most forgiving, that Max. It's going to be the one. But they're trying to put more distance into that driver. But Ping took their best overall. Runner-up was the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Triple Diamond. And that was the one that's being fit for the guy who's swinging at 100 miles an hour that instantly beat out Black Ops.
Did they say what their robot club head speed was? She's like 112, right? Or like right in that.
I was going to just say
115.
Yep, 100%. I think you're spot on with that. I can't remember exactly, but you are spot on with that range in there, because that was my guess too. Third place overall, the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Max D draw version. Most golfers are right-handed. Most golfers right-handed miss is a slice. So, but interesting. You were telling me one of was it? I think it's Bill.
Yeah, he has the AI. He loves it.
Yeah, and even though he hits a fade, he has the draw-based driver that they opened up and changed the setting because they're all adjustable with the hosel.
Well, what he had when I was up there is he had it set full draw, and he's hitting like these little punch draws.
This time, but I think it was a couple years ago.
I thought he had it the other way.
Yeah, where he's playing the draw club head, but then he had opened up because that's where now Now, for most golfers, we aren't going to notice the difference and be able to say, let's give me the draw head. Let's set it open. Am I going to get that? We're not consistent enough. We're not pros like Bill and like the guys on tour. But anyway, sorry. So I was a little side note there. And then the best for distance was the Callaway Paradigm AI Smoke Max D driver as well. So accuracy, like I said, best for accuracy, the Ping G430 Max 10K. Best forgiveness was last year's PXG, the 0311 XF Gen 6. And then the best value. Any guesses?
We all know.
Yeah, we do.
You can also get milk, eggs, and
a case of
paper with your
purchase. It is the Kirkland driver, was the AKA Titleist driver. That came in at the best value, obviously. So it's kind of a rundown of the drivers, kind of how they went on that. I mean, there's tons more information that you can get on that if you want to go to my Golf Spy and look up their driver information.
I think on that Ping, what I would like to know, what makes it so straight? Have you hit the one of the last 2 or 3 Pings?
I have, and my numbers are actually really good with it.
They just go straight as an arrow. I don't know. It would be interesting to see like someone chop that thing up and find like what is the tech in that club head, because I mean a Callaway, man, I can work it if you want to call that.
Yeah,
I can work it left and
I can work it both directions.
Yeah, way out there.
I can stinger it.
Titleist, boy, I can work that thing right. I can work it right all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Ping I've hit my buddy Lance's, and it is not. You might lose 10 yards, 15 yards in distance, but
right.
it's weird. It just flies like a straight arrow. Not super high, not low. It just kind of just launches out like a medium height, and it just goes, it lands, it rolls. It's there.
So what do you think? And I have no idea on this at all. Take a 15 handicap. So, the way the handicap system works, unless I'm wrong on this, the last I saw on how they calculate it is that you're going to shoot 1 out of 10 rounds is going to be below your handicap. So if you're a 15 handicap, it's not that you're going to shoot 15 over. You're probably going to shoot, you're going to have 1 round that's going to be roughly 10 over, and then you're going to have some other averages, and it's the average of the 10. So you're actually going to shoot slightly better than what your handicap score is. But so let's just take a 15 handicap. What do you think is more important, hitting a fairway or having the distance? And I know this is really subjective, but just on the average.
I guess it depends on how far offline they are. Because I've played a lot of scrambles. Through work, I've played a ton. I always get that invite. Yep. Hey, we need a ringer. Bring them in. And you wouldn't believe. I think if we could get someone to sponsor this, and we could take random people, take their bag, take it apart, say no, maybe, and then fit them in the right clubs. They don't have the right lie. They don't have the right grip. They don't got the right length. They don't have the right shafts. They think, oh, I hit my 7-iron 135. No, you don't. You hit it 115.
Yep.
And I think you could drastically improve their game if you just put them in the right clubs, get them fit the right, no matter what their score is. I mean, they could be brand new to the game. It's even probably worse for people brand new to golf. We have a lot of people that come into our office that, commercial real estate, Orange County, it's a lot of golf. Yep. A lot of golf invites. They pick up golf.
Right.
And they just like, well, I got these clubs. Where'd you get them? I don't know.
Yeah.
I found them.
100%.
And it's like way too long. They're way too hard. Sometimes they'll be out there with blades.
Right.
And it's like, that's not the right club for you.
Right.
Tiger plays them, but
yeah, I don't know.
You guys aren't the same. Yeah, you're just starting. I think if we had that, maybe a future episode, we take a challenge. We find someone that's in that 15 to 25 handicap. We break their bag apart and we see, hey, what's your normal 9-hole score? Let's take your bag apart. Let's refit you. Let's get you in the right stuff. Now let's go out and see what your 9-hole score is.
So let me take that one step further. What we need to do is take that same person, go into like a Roger Dunn, where they've got all the shafts, rent the bay, put them in the bay, have them hit their clubs, hit a let's say we hit a pitching wedge, 7-iron, and then driver. I don't know, I'm just grounding. And then with what they currently have, like exactly what you're saying, and then let's fit them into some clubs and shafts and see the dramatic difference.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But do it in a bay instead of out on the course and see it, because scoring's going to be hard. If you're new to golf, there's going to be enough. It's going to be difficult to really pull someone new.
But that's, I think, where you would see it. So maybe it's a 2-part episode. One, it's we get them into like a no bogeys or that UGP or that one.
Yeah,
was
UGP.
That one
yeah,
we get them in there where they have all the heads, all the shafts,
everything.
Get them on the track, man. Have them hit all of their balls.
Yep.
Hit all their clubs, and then see. Okay, these are all your distances.
Right.
This is how far offline you are. Fit them in. See what the improvement is. And then take it to the course. Now let's see if
let them play with
Did
them.
you get improvement on the course?
Yeah.
Maybe they get out there and they shoot the same score, and it's like, well, you just
and then they're mad at us because they're mad at us because they just dropped $1,000 on golf clubs.
$2,000 and you still suck.
Yeah, sucker. Yeah. Thanks for the views.
Yeah. The golf industry appreciates it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh god.
Gotta make money somehow.
It'd be interesting. I think that the default is people want to get into the game. And they just grab the cheapest stuff they can find. They're playing used golf balls that they find everywhere. And that's a whole nother conversation, how much the golf ball makes a difference. You're playing a found golf ball. This guy I was playing with in my round on Thursday, he was playing balls I've never even heard of. He actually played pretty well. He shot like an 84 in this crazy wind. I think it was 84, 86. I don't even know. One was called Velocity. Like that was
velocity?
No. It was just stamped velocity on the front, and then he was playing something else, and I'm like, I don't know. He surprisingly played pretty well, but maybe I don't know. I didn't know what to say to it. I just was shocked to see that it was just there was not one.
Yeah, they play what they find.
What did they find? Yeah. And you can play so much better. You know, I was golfing with a buddy of mine, and he was playing whatever he found. He got fitted for irons. I think he got P770s. He got fit for everything, got fitted putter, everything was dialed up, and he was playing golf balls that he found. And so then we were hitting shots, and he couldn't understand why he felt like he was hitting a good shot into the middle of the green, and it's just gone off the back of the green. Then he got an awkward chip, or he's in a bunker because it ran through, couldn't hold the green. I'm like, dude.
Well, my Golf Spy has, in their ball test results, they show that like the difference between two golf balls can be like 25 yards.
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
Or maybe more. So if you think, oh, I always hit my 7-iron, maybe you do it at TP5, and then now that you're playing this Encore that you found, that looked cool.
Well, and he was like, well, we played a few more rounds together. I got him to try a few different balls, and I didn't try to get him to hit the Pro V1 or the Pro V1X. The Pinnacle Rush.
Sleeper, dude.
That is a sleeper golf ball.
Made by Titleist.
We have played some good rounds with that because we found somebody was letting him fly at Monarch.
I bought some for a scramble, and then I played it, and I'm like, this is pretty good. This is pretty
messing
good
with people.
And then when I went to the PGA show in Orlando, I was like, wait a second, why is Pinnacle in the Titleist Bay? Yeah. And it's like, oh, they're making the Pinnacle Rush, dude. Sleeper ball.
It is surprisingly good. We've played with it, and we played 9 holes with it. I've shot like 2 over.
Yeah. No,
I've controlled it.
Even par with that ball.
I could control it. The approach shots on the green were great. It held greens. It's just so, but it's funny that people are like, when you golf with people, you throw it out and they're like, who's Pinnacle? Like, don't tell them. And then they like, oh, whose shot is that? And you're playing a scramble, and then I'll all look together like, who's playing the Pinnacle?
Yeah. You'll have guys out there when I'll play in these scrambles, and I'll use, for my tee ball, either a Pinnacle Rush or, Pro V1 left dash if I have them. Sometimes I don't have those. Or I'll use the long drive ball, which is now the Bridgestone E9.
Right.
And then they're like always like, oh, that's your ball? Like, thinking that I'm only going to hit a Pro V1 the whole time,
right,
which is my game ball. And it's like, yeah, dude, I hit the Pinnacle Rush off the tee. Like,
right.
That's me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so the problem with it, and that's what we're talking about, this leads into part of what I was saying earlier about my buddy. So I put him into a better ball. And I think we went to the TaylorMade, not the Tour.
Tour Response?
The Tour Response, thank you. I was going to say Tour Speed. Tour Response. And he was hitting it, and he probably lost maybe 5 yards off of his drive because he was going from a rock-hard ball that he was just finding, and it was getting more distance because it's just a knuckler, right? It just goes out with no spin. And he lost some yards on the driver, and he complained to me like, yeah, but I'm so much shorter and this and that. And then he started hitting in the greens, and all of a sudden he's holding greens because there's got more spin to it. And now all of a sudden it's starting to stick. And I'm like, just aim for the middle of the green. Don't be attacking pins. You know, his handicap, I think he was like a 12 or a 14 handicap. Like, don't attack pins. Aim middle of the green, hold the green, 2-putt, start knocking some pars in. Versus this rock hard golf ball he was driving, and he loved it because it was off the driver so much farther. Hit greens, the ball's gone.
When I was talking to the Titleist ball guys back in when I was at that show in Orlando, they were saying that majority of people, like huge delta, big majority of people should be playing the Pro V1X if they just want to waste money on Pro Vs.
Right.
They shouldn't be playing that ball anyway because they're not going to be able to work it. But they should be playing the X. But yet everyone that just goes and buys Pro Vs because they think like, well, I got to get that. They buy the regular Pro V, just the regular Pro V1.
Right.
I mean, when we're at Monarch, what do we find? You might find one Pro V1X to every 9 regular Pro Vs you find.
It's crazy.
And they're all playing the wrong ball. It's the X for the majority of people.
Well, Patrick Reed was on. I saw a social media thing with him, and he was playing a pro-am, and this guy, one of the guys he's playing with, said, "Hey, what golf ball should I be using?" And Patrick Reed was like, "Well, he's like, just because what you see as pros play on TV, almost nobody should be playing those balls unless you're around a low single-digit handicap." Everyone else needs to be into a middle market ball. And he actually said that the Tour Speed, the TaylorMade Tour Response, the TaylorMade Tour Response is one of the best balls out there for the majority of golfers.
Well, I think my Golf Spy has opened everyone's eyes if people are paying attention that you got to compress the ball.
Yeah.
And if you don't compress the ball, it's getting you nowhere.
Right.
So you got to pay attention to that and your swing speed, your angle of attack. You got to play the right ball.
Right.
If you don't, like, remember when I played the Tiger ball because I was just still swinging on Tiger, and I was like, dude, I got to keep playing the Bridgestone. Yeah, that's what he's playing.
That's what he's playing.
Must be the best. And just balloon that thing.
It was like, Houston, Louis got launch in 3, 2, 1, and then you'd hit just.
Yeah, the ball would come down with frost on it.
Yeah, and how many greens you missed short?
Oh, yeah, or spun off.
Spun them off or just missed short because there was just way too much spin. And it's just...
I bet going to the Pro V1 from the Bridgestone, I probably picked up 2-3 strokes per 9.
For sure.
Just right out the gates. Not even sometimes you get up and down and you're fine, but if you don't, on an average over a month, I bet it was 2-3 strokes a 9 holes just by switching the ball and having more birdie putts, having more balls pinned high. Versus now I'm getting up and down.
Right.
I eliminated a lot of risk.
Right. No, I totally agree. Yeah, and that's, I just think that when you talk about these drivers and it goes to golf balls, it goes to the shafts that you're going to put in your irons, it's all of this stuff. Beginner golfers or middle to high handicap golfers, it is still worth it to go get something fit. And as you get better, that equipment is going to change.
And I'll say this. If you're really good, it's ball fit from the green out. If you're really good. Yep. If you're not really good, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
It's ball driver fit because that tee shot sets you up.
Yep.
And you hit that high slice 180 yards out into another fairway or into the pond. Now you're like, your spirits are down, But if you have the right ball and the right driver combo, and now you pump one out there and say it's 220 down the fairway and you're playing the appropriate tees.
Yeah,
You're not playing the tips when you only hit it 220 off the tee.
Right.
Then you're setting yourself up for a whole different game. Now you're in the fairway. Now you're at 220 instead of 180 and in the water. Yeah. And that starts with getting the right ball, right driver combo for your game at that time.
Right.
And go from there.
Right. Yeah, I agree. So, and that's, we're seeing that with Club Champion and the fitting that they're doing. Ian was hitting those drivers at the 117 mile an hour range was his average, and that the PXG went to the finals with Cobra, and then now they're redoing it with the 100 mile an hour swing, which is probably the majority of golfers.
Yeah, or less. Maybe.
Yeah, they might be a little bit less than that. And first one knocked out was one of the finalists,
right?
PXG. So it's find the drivers, find for me, it's what looks good to me, what makes me feel comfortable, where I'm not having to mess around with my hands and I can just swing and hit it. For you, it's going to be the shaft situation.
But that's easier for you. I'd say if you are a looks person, it's easier because you can go look at all the heads real quick and go, oh, I like that one.
Right.
And then now you just got to find the shaft.
Right.
If you're the other way around, you're gonna have to hit every head, every shaft combo. That
Right.
it's exponential to find your.
Yeah, and there's still some guesswork for me. I've always just been the TaylorMade Cobra. I've kind of always been where my drivers have been. I struggle with the Titleist. When I hit it well, I hit it really well. But I would have too many lefts, too many rights. I was always messing with the lofts. I was trying, do I need more loft? Do I need less loft? Trying to open the face a little bit to prevent it going left. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, I'm ballooning this. Now I'm closing the face with my hands. And like, it was just, I couldn't figure it out. Where with my TaylorMade, I had played that Cobra F9, which kind of like put Cobra back on the map. That driver, I mean, Rick Shields, he fell in love with that driver for a few years. The old Cobra F9 from like five years ago.
His marriage. he was love at first sight.
It was. So
first strike.
He brought them back, and I had that driver, and I hit it really well. And then, anyways, that's when I went to the TaylorMade, and I've just been playing the TaylorMade now for a few years since the Stealth came out. And I'm looking forward to these new drivers and hitting some new ones. But it's all about this year. It seems to be. The big names are all kind of not worrying about distance. They're trying to focus on forgiveness and accuracy. And those are two different things. Accuracy is good ball strikes, and it's the deviation on how much the deviation is on those ball strikes and where they land. Forgiveness is off-center hits and where do they land and how big of a deviation you have off-center. So those are two different things for accuracy versus forgiveness. And so that's where the big names are going. That's my driver recap. Hey, what do we have for? We have an update. I'm kind of curious. I haven't been watching. Oh, Scheffler, 20 under through 17. Xander, 19 under through 14. Dude, we're gonna have a finish. And
Scotty can get in that clubhouse, dude, and lock it up.
Look,
pressure.
Look who's in third. Harman's
solid, man.
He's tied for second, actually.
And he's got a couple extra holes to go.
Yeah, Scheffler's on 18.
Xander's gonna have to Xander's going in. He's gonna have the famous par 3.
Yeah.
Water ball. There was a lot of water balls today.
Wind. The wind is kicked up.
People were smoking them over the top.
100%. Watch Morikawa fly it one bounce and off the back of the green.
Oh, the kid that's from around here. I forget. He just won recently. I'm trying to blank on his name. Huge club head speed. He barely looks like he swings it, and he hits it a mile. He's the blonde kid.
Yeah, Knapp.
Yeah, he's a local boy.
Yep.
He hit one over too, I think, in the water.
Yeah. We'll see. Xander, San Diego.
Yeah, local guy.
So who do you think is going to hold off?
I'm just going to go for Scotty because he's my favorite. Although, if Brian wins, I'd have to pull for him too. He's had such an uptick later in his golfing years, right? Which is great. I'm a fan of that too. So I don't know. I could go either there. Xander, hometown boy, or at least a SoCal boy. I could go for him too. I don't know. I'm happy with Scotty if he wins. Hopefully, fingers crossed. What about
putter?
You?
It's all about the putter for him. And 2 weeks in a row, he's now top of the leaderboard, and it's all because of the putter.
Right.
I kind of want to see Xander pull it off. I feel like he hasn't won in a while. Like Xander, he's not the biggest guy out there, from a physical presence. So I'm kind of pulling for Xander today. I don't know. He's got a lot of holes to work with. Courses, playing easier. There's some 64s out there. Siwoo Kim, right? Shot a 64 today, final round, tied for 5th. So, do we have anybody else out there put up some really good numbers? Actually, no.
No, I think
Siwoo went off. Everyone else there's some
266s.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of 70s. Holy cow! Tied for 16th, goes out and shoots 70, 71.
Water balls, dude.
Yeah.
Rory shot 72.
Rory shot 72 today.
Yeah, no one really.
We're just getting into the swing of the season now. We've got Masters coming up. We got we got PGA. We've got now the next 6 months through September. We got a big tournament.
Solid golf.
It's go time. So, I did. Anything else?
I think that's it. I'm good.
Any green beer today?
No, not for me.
Yeah, not me either.
It's almost beach season.
Yeah.
You gotta here in SoCal.
You gotta get the swell on.
Yeah.
Dude, I got myself a little cold plunge. That's maybe why I'm fired up. If you're not a cold plunger, definitely need to check it out. And pickleball was intense this morning. we were going at it.
So I got to get out there. I hooped today, a little 2-hour hoop session.
Right.
Got sweating. It was good.
Not with my glass knees. Those hoop sessions are over, dude. I've had enough knee surgeries. I can stick on the pickleball court now. But a little cold plunge action for all of you that don't do it. You got to get into it. Yeah, it gives you so much.
It's good.
Gives you so much energy. It's gets you fired up. So
I'm a fan.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Cool.
Good stuff.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, before we forget, check us out. Instagram. All right. We got the Instagram page up and running, obviously. YouTube.
We got YouTube. We're on Spotify and we're on Apple. So check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Like, subscribe. We'll keep them coming. Getting out there.
That's right.
Start doing some interviews soon. Start getting on the course. Have some good stuff coming. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good one.